Growing up, I was skinny fat, which in my opinion is the worst body type you can have. It's where you're skinny enough to where you pretty much have no muscle, but you also have some level of fat that gives you love handles, maybe chubby cheeks, and just undesirable traits. For example, I had no abs whatsoever. Back when I was a kid, I had unhealthy eating habits because I was never necessarily taught what was healthy, at least not in the right way. Because believe it or not, your parents probably don't actually know like necessarily the full truth on what's healthy and what's not. For example, I was told that eating pizza was healthy at one point, and like that's just not true unless it's like some protein pizza concoction, like I don't know. But anyway, because of me being skinny fat, whenever I would look in the mirror, I felt some level of discomfort, and I really wasn't happy with my body at all. And later, I'm gonna tell you guys exactly what I did to fix this, but I need to talk about a specific moment that changed everything. So when I was a lot younger, I remember specifically taking a video of myself where I didn't have my shirt on, and I can't remember what it was, but I walked backwards towards something. I think I was doing a skating trick, like on a skateboard, and I just wanted to see what it looked like. So I walked back to go get on the skateboard, and I noticed I have like crazy love handles. Like this part of your hips right here, mine were so fat, it was insane. They literally hung over my waistband, and it made me so insecure. I felt like I instantly had to do something. See, the thing is, I was a lot different from most kids. I felt like I was a lot more self-aware because I went through a lot of trauma when I was younger, and it forced me to mature earlier. And because of that, I felt like I literally knew of like everything that was going on. Like I was aware of like people being ugly and not ugly all the way back to like elementary school. I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like I knew too much for my age, because being blind is actually pretty peaceful. But yeah, on this specific day that I filmed that video and I saw my love handles, I knew I was gonna make a change, and I instantly tried to stop eating anything sweet altogether. My parents at the time were talking about going on this keto diet, which I mean, parents are always trying to lose weight. I feel like it's almost a joke at this point, but they were trying to go on a keto diet, and I was adamant about doing it. And if you don't know this, the keto diet is where you don't eat anything with sugar or carbs. It's literally just straight meat and fat, which honestly, looking over it now, I feel like that's not the healthiest thing. And there's a couple reasons for that. It's like the most extreme diets seem to be the hardest to follow, and you're more likely to fail, because if you have to completely cut out an entire food group, for example, for me, I wouldn't eat vegetables, because vegetables up to a certain amount is too many carbs for the keto diet. Because if you didn't know that, vegetables are carbs. They just have a lot less than things like bread and pasta and all that. So I literally quit eating vegetables. All I ate was like meat, cheese, milk, eggs. Like that's pretty much all I had. And growing up, I realized this probably actually stunted my growth. I'm not totally sure, but I was pretty much starving myself at that point. And this actually made the skinny fat problem get a lot worse, because when you starve yourself and you don't eat enough calories, what happens is your muscles atrophy, meaning they get smaller. But if you're not exercising and actually working out, you're not going to maintain it at all. So if you want to lose fat, you pretty much have to work out, unless you don't care about being skinny fat, which I think you should, because it's probably the worst body type you can have. But yeah, I wasn't working out. Luckily, I was playing soccer at the time, which was really helpful. But this is actually just making my body type get worse and worse. Like my love handles, like this fat around my midsection was not going away, but I noticed my arms shrinking, which was not a good sign. I was like, okay, my muscles are getting smaller, the fat's not going away, what's going on here? So I sat down and binged YouTube videos, because I don't know about you guys, maybe some of you are here for this reason, but when you have an insecurity that's really strong, it feels like a hunger that needs to be fed. Like you have to solve the problem, and you're not going to leave until you solve the problem. For me, that was figuring out how I'm going to get abs. So believe it or not, I actually feel like I'm really knowledgeable on fitness. Like I know a lot about diet. I know a lot about gaining muscle. And the thing is, even though I know about it, I don't necessarily feel like I want to become a bodybuilder or something like that. Anyway, besides the point, I pretty much learned all the information that I needed to know. And I got to the point where I feel like I know more than most adults. So when adults would say things that like don't make sense, I just would kind of call them out on that, because I don't know about you guys, but adults are always like saying old wives' tales that their parents told them and those parents told them, like, and they're just not true. One example is that weight training stunts your growth. Like that simply isn't true. If you weight train in a safe manner as a teenager, emphasis on the safe part, but if you weight train as a teenager, it's not going to stunt your growth. Another lie that's told, for example, is that eating fat makes you put on fat. Like that's simply not true. Like when you eat the fat of a meat, all that matters is the calories. Calories are literally what determines putting on fat putting on muscle versus losing weight. So anyway, I got tired of hearing all these lies that I was told from adults, thinking that they know everything when they really haven't ever looked into fitness. Like for me, I'm at the point now where I've looked into fitness more than most people. So I'm pretty knowledgeable on it. So I decided, okay, the thing that makes the most sense now is going to the gym. So what I did from that day forward is I started going to the gym every single day. Now, when I was in the gym, I wasn't doing the right things at all. But that's kind of a lesson that I learned, is like just doing it and getting in the process gets you in the habit. And then once you're in the habit of going to the gym, it's a lot easier to perfect it and actually get a lot better at training. And this led up to another breaking point moment in my life where I actually ended up going to the pool, because the pool is attached to the gym that I go to. So I went to the pool and I noticed one of my friends took a video of me. And once again, I saw my love handle sticking out, but also my face looked so fat. And I was so upset by this. And I was like, okay, I need to like actually do what I learned in those videos. And that's the stuff that I'm teaching you guys right now. So that is when I completely locked in. And this is where my like not only fitness and getting abs and all that started to change, but like my entire life pivoted and did a 360. So I locked in on my health. I started getting a better diet. And this helped my entire life all around. Like I literally started getting better grades, paying more attention in school, talking to girls, making more friends. Like I don't know what it was, but I feel like your health directly correlates to your mental health. Or I guess I should say your physical health correlates to your mental health. And I completely just locked in. So I'm at the point now where I'm going to the gym literally every single day, getting on the treadmill for 30 minutes minimum. I probably shouldn't have done that in hindsight looking back, because cardio isn't that necessary when it comes to losing weight. It's really more about diet. But I'm getting on the treadmill every day, even though I hated doing it with a passion. I would try to go with my friends, but none of them were disciplined as me, because they wouldn't go. Like I was going every day, and I would have multiple friends go, and they would just start dropping like flies. Like one person would be like, oh, I'm tired, never come back. The next person would be like, oh, I'm busy, never comes back to the gym. So like I really feel like consistency is key at this point. Now, I thought I was locked in, and looking back, I feel like I was. But when everything really changed is when I met this girl. So I saw this one girl, and we started talking. And although my insecurities had lit this fire in me that made me feel like I had to fix the way that I looked, meeting this girl was a different level of that. And this got so bad that I literally could not eat. Like there was probably like a day that I went entirely until like the middle of the night without eating, because of how stressed I was about looking good for this girl. Now, me not eating was not a way of me trying to lose weight. I was literally just that nervous. And to be completely honest with you guys, meeting this girl honestly helped a lot, because after I met her, I was like next level. Like I completely cut out all sweets probably for the next year, meaning I did not eat anything that I used to eat, like cookies, candy, chocolate, anything like that. Like it was cut out completely. I only ate meat, fruit, vegetables, and dairy, and I felt amazing. Not only that, but a lot of you guys probably don't know this. When you first get into the gym, there's these things called newbie gains, which is essentially where you put on muscle a little bit easier than your later progression into the gym. So it's kind of like this, where the first year that you get into the gym, you're probably going to see the most progress if you're working out and training properly. And then the second year, you're going to see a little bit less, second year, less. And then you'll notice it gets to the point where if you're at the like massive, you're probably going to be putting on like 1, 2, 3 pounds of muscle per year max. When in that first year, you could have literally put on like 10, possibly even 15 pounds if you're a genetic freak. So I had the newbie gains. My chest, I could actually do the pec bounce thing, which I can still do right now. But yeah, I was able to do the pec bounce thing. My shoulders were looking really rounded. I'm probably bigger back then than I was now. And the best feeling about it is everyone started noticing. And when I say everyone, I'm talking my guy friends, girls started noticing. I literally became like, I don't know if people were joking with me, but people would call me jacked all the time. I think it's because my chest was pretty big for my size, and it would kind of like stick out on my compression shirts, and my friends like really took note of it. I remember this specific instance. It was this one girl who always complimented my friend. I feel like she had a crush on him or something. She would always compliment him whenever we were together. She would never say anything about me. And for the first time ever, she was like, Dylan, you're looking jacked. And she was like kind of laughing about it. But I was like, bro, she noticed. Like everyone around me at this point notices, even my parents. And to make things better, at this point, I also got a job at Chipotle. And when you work at Chipotle, I don't know if you guys know, but there's a big selection of meat, right? And when you work there, you can pretty much just snag anything you want. And I was getting cups of chicken, and that was like all I was eating. I was literally eating cups of chicken, getting some like vegetables on the side, and it was insane because I noticed a lot more muscle when I started doing that. And now this is where I would say my entire life changed for the better on everything outside of necessarily the way that I looked. And it was when I actually blew up on social media for self-improvement. So what I realized when I started looking better is that people take you a lot more serious when you're physically fit, one, and number two, when your face looks better. So the whole premise of my content on TikTok at the time was teaching people how to look better. And I was very qualified because, like I said, I binge YouTube videos about my insecurities. I learned all about like fitness, hair loss, improving your face, all of this. So I just had this bundle of knowledge that it was like leaking out of me. Like I had so much knowledge, I just wanted to give it out. So I started posting a ton of videos, and I started this TikTok account all about self-improvement, and it gained 100,000 followers in a month. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. So I kept going. And then I got 100,000 followers the next month and the next month. And this literally led all the way up until I reached 1 million followers on TikTok, which was insane. And this also correlates with where I'm with right now on social media, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Right now, I'm going to give you the key points that I noticed made the biggest difference. Number one, it was that eating meat and your diet, I would say, is honestly even more important than working out. Like if you have a bad diet and you work out, you're honestly like kind of placebo affecting yourself into believing that you're gaining a lot more muscle than you are. If you really want to gain muscle, look better, become physically healthy, your diet is number one by far. There's nothing even close. Well, actually, I kind of take that back because sleep is number one. Like the sleep that you get is by far the most important thing. Then it's diet, then it's training. Those are like the pyramid of the things you need to prioritize. So when it comes to food, I mean, the base knowledge that you need is that you should probably be eating meat, fruit, and vegetables, just whole foods in general. That's like the health aspect of it. And then when it comes to the actual fitness and looking good, being healthy doesn't always equal looking good, if that makes sense. Just to give you guys an example, you could eat McDonald's pretty much every day, and if you're eating below a certain level of calories, you'll lose weight and you could get abs, you could look shredded, but obviously eating McDonald's, you're not gonna have the nutrients that you need. So that's my whole point on that. Like looking good does not always equal being healthy. That being said, eating whole foods is key to the health side of things. And to look good, in my opinion, the most important thing is being in a calorie deficit, which is where you're burning more calories than you consume during a day. And what this is gonna do is force you to lose weight. And if you're training while you do this, you're actually gonna put on muscle as well. Or at the very least, you're gonna maintain your muscle. This is what all male models do. This is what anybody who looks fit while also being lean. So now I'm working at Chipotle, going to the gym every day, and honestly, everything's starting to look a lot better. My content started doing better as I looked better as well, and everything was great until I had a glow down. So I don't know what got into me, but out of nowhere, I stopped going to the gym, I stopped working out, and I actually got like pretty chubby. And this is after a full-blown year of me just giving self-improvement advice to everyone. So I feel like I not only had betrayed all the people that I've been teaching, but also like everything that I stood for. Like I literally stood for being healthy, and I was no longer healthy at this point. This is actually more recent, like within the end of 2023. And I don't know, in a way, I felt like I literally had kind of let myself go. So I would say at about a month and a half ago, I started locking in again, going to the gym, you know, eating healthy, just grinding on everything, all content and everything like that. And people really started to notice. Like I had a whole resurgence on my social media, and all my accounts started doing a lot better. And I honestly think that's all to do with me getting fit again and looking better. So my best advice to you guys is to get fit, not only to look better and feel better, but also make an impact on your life. Like I'm telling you, this literally changed my life. Every time that I start getting into fitness again, I notice everything starts improving about myself. So good luck. I hope you guys get in the gym. Stay consistent. Get abs, bro, because it's going to change your life. Stay tuned for the next video. Peace.